Hello everyone, welcome to JCE Connect. So we'll start with the next module, that is payment construction. So in this payment construction, so this is the syllabus of module 4. So in this payment construction, initially we'll deals with the uses and properties of the bituminous mixes and cement concrete in pavement construction. So in the previous part, we have studied about the different types of the pavements, that is flexible pavements as well as rigid pavements, right? So the same thing here also, we are going to study the different properties as well as the uses of this flexible pavements, that is made up of this bituminous mixes, and rigid pavements, that is made up of the cement concrete in its structure. And after that we'll study about how exactly the road constructions will be going on, that is how they will do the survey, and after the survey how they are going to do the cutting and filling in that particular cross section of the road, and then the initially how exactly they are going to prepare the subgrade, right? And then after studying these general aspects about the pavements, then we'll move towards the specifications as well as the construction process of the different pavements here. So in that you can see the granular sub base, WBM, that is waterbound macadam, and WMM, that is wet mix base, macadam base, and then further it will be continuing with bituminous macadam, dense bituminous macadam, bituminous concrete, and then the dry lean concrete, and even we'll study about the pavement quality control also there, and at last the concrete roads. So here we'll be having different types of pavements, and how exactly they are going to be constructed, and which are the main specifications we need to follow before starting that construction part. And here at last we'll study with the design of the soil aggregate mixes by Rothfuss method, right? So this is what the exact syllabus of the module 4. So we'll start one by one now. So we'll move towards the first part of the syllabus, that is uses of bituminous mixes and cement concrete in pavement constructions. So what exactly the application of this bituminous mixes will be there in the construction, and which are the main uses of these pavements with respect to the different criteria. So here the first one, it start with the bituminous materials are mostly employed for the construction of flexible pavements. So here most of the material that start with bituminous material, it is going to be constructed with bituminous material, where the bituminous acts as the binding material, and along with that the major portion is covered by the different types of the aggregates, depends upon the different types of the flexible pavements, right? So like that, here the main binding material, that is bitumen. So this bitumen, it is too flexible in its structure, so it can be used as in the flexible pavement. And when the road construction makes use of the concrete slabs, we can call it as rigid construction, because the structure of this concrete will be rigid, and whenever the load will going to be applied, it is going to be sustain the load, but it remains as it is. That whatever the initial structures will be there, it remains as it is. And moving to the next point, that is the flexible pavement itself has a several layers. So as we have discussed in the previous part, so we have seen the different layers of the flexible pavements. So initially it start with subgrade, right? So we'll see that figure now, the different layers in flexible pavement, right? So you can see the different layer here, that is initially it start with the natural subgrade, and then we are going to prepare a different thickness of the compacted subgrade, that is depends upon the pavement design concept, and even it is depends upon the CBR value also. And then on top of that the sub base course is there, and followed by the base course, binder course, and then the surface course. So here you can see the different layers of this flexible pavement. And so here certain layers having certain specifications under the load carrying conditions. So here whatever the surface course is there, so it is having certain specifications, and the certain applications of that layer, and then even the binder cores. So it gives a proper bonding between the surface cores as well as the base cores. And then so whatever the base cores is there, it's like it is going to contains, I mean, it is going to consider certain loads which is governed by the surface cores as well as the binder cores. Like that, every layers will be having certain applications as its own, right? And here, the based on the position and the function of the material, the nature of the material also will varies, because here in the different layers might be in the pavement construction of with flexible pavements or rigid pavement. So here material will get vary with respect to the types of the pavement construction. So when the position and functions of the material will get vary, even that the nature of the material also will be varies, because we are going to use the coarser aggregates while preparation of the base course as well as the sub base course. But whereas here in the rigid pavement, so we are going to use 20 down aggregates in the part of the concrete. So like that, how the specifications of the material will get changes with respect to the different types of layers. So here the nature of material also it will get vary. And then the surface course, the binder as well as the base may be of asphalt. So here the surface course, you can see the surface course here, right? So this surface course, the top layer, so this surface course, it is made up of what? This particular surface course, the binder as well as the base may be of asphalt. Here you can see the binder as well as the base. So for the surface course, I mean for the first layer, this binder as well as the base layer will be the supporting layers, right? So for this surface course, this binder course as well as the base course, it may be of asphalt. So here asphalt is nothing but what? It is a mixture of aggregate, binder and filler, and it is used for the constructing and maintaining of the roads. So suppose if anything, the road has to be constructed or else the road has to be maintained, so they are going to remove this surface course and then they are going to strengthen these two layers, that is binder course as well as the base course. So this particular two course, that is made up of asphalt, right? So as we have seen, the asphalt means it is a mixture of aggregates, binder as well as the filler, and usually it is used in the constructing and maintaining of the roads, and even it can be used in the airport runways also, right? So now in this road construction, the base layer for surface course will be the binder course as well as the base course. So it is going to contain certain loads which is governed by the top layer such as the surface course. And here the asphalt in the surface course is different when compared with the asphalt used in the binder course or in the base course. So here whatever the mixture of aggregate as well as the binders, right? So that layer it will get vary with different layers. That asphalt which is used in the surface course will be the different, that asphalt which is used in the binder course will be the different, as well as that asphalt which is used in the base course will be the different. That entire specifications, size of the material as well as the quantity of the material, it will get vary with respect to the different layers, because as per the pavement design concept, it has to carry certain load which is governed by the top load, I mean the top layers. So it should have certain stability to carry out that entire load, right? So depends upon that concept, that material specifications, it will get vary in different layers. And moving to the next part, that is properties of bituminous mixes. So here it should have certain properties such that road should be stable, and it should be environmental friendly, and it should be easily accessible to the users. So it is having certain properties with respect to its strength as well as the other parameter, that is durability and all. So here The first property is resistance to permanent deformation. So here the mix whatever we are going to use, that is bituminous mix, that it should not distort or it should not be displaced when the subjected to a traffic loads. So suppose think, so we have constructed a road that is made up of bituminous mixes, that is bituminous with aggregate. So when certain load is going to be applied on that time it should not be displaced in the sense what, it should not changes its original shape or else original place whenever we apply the load, so that it should be strong enough to resist the load coming from the vehicles. And here the resistance to a permanent deformation is more important at higher temperatures, because why the temperature is main considerable property in this bituminous mixes, in the sense as you all know that bituminous it is going to be melt when we will apply certain heat, right? So when the temperature of the natural temperature or else you have provided the manual temperature in the laboratory and all, so as we have seen that bituminous material it is going to be melt. So think that in some places such as Delhi and all, where the higher temperature what we can see, so during that particular temperature part, at a certain temperature that bituminous material it is going to be melt. So that time certain load if it is applied, so you can see the maximum deformation there. So might be you can also check, so whenever in the summer season if you just press on your fingers and all, so your finger mark has to be shown on that particular layers or else on that material wherever it got melted. So we need to select a bituminous mixes such that it should be resistant to the permanent deformations, it should maintain its own shape and its own thickness in the pavement layers, right? So we need to consider this part very seriously while selecting the bituminous mixes. And then fatigue resistance. So here fatigue resistance it's nothing but fatigue resistance is nothing but fatigue is nothing but the meaning of fatigue will be tiredness. So here fatigue resistance in the road construction, in the sense what, whatever the mix we have used it should not crack when subjected to a repeated loads over a period of time. So here what they are telling, so here if you have constructed a road with a bituminous material and every day it is open to a traffic, and then the vehicles start moving one by one with that by using that pavement layers. So in some cases when the repeated load is going to be applied, for example might be you have seen in the highways and all, so most of the vehicle will takes place a certain part of the road construction, I mean where exactly the tire load which is going to be applied on the road surfaces, so only at that particular place a little deformations you can see, right? So when in such cases we need to choose a material such that whenever we are going to apply the repeated load on those particular part of the bitumen, it should not be with a much deformation, right? So or else it should not be crack only on that particular place. So we need to choose a material such that it should retain its own volume, its own shape with a good strength. And then resistance to a low temperature cracking. So here this mixed property is more important in colder regions. So low temperature in the sense the road constructions which is used where the temperature is very low. So during in that part the low temperature cracking which is a major distress of asphalt pavements in the cold regions. So you can take any colder regions even in our own country, that is nearby to Himachal Pradesh. So during in that conditions the major distress, I mean the distress which is going to be applied on these asphalt layers. So when the stress concentration which is induced by the low temperature, that shrinkage which is going to exceed the ultimate tensile strength, so that time the crack will get developed and the effect of the service life of the pavement will be very dangerous. I mean the cracks and all you can see within those layers. And then the anti-cracking performance of the asphalt pavement, which is closely related to a property of the asphalt binder, and even it depends on the mixture of that bituminous as well as the aggregate. And here the asphalt mixture which is a very sensitive to a temperature variance, which is showing the great elastic property, and even it become hard and brittle at the low temperatures. So whenever the temperature will get changes, so it is going to be changes with respect to its property, that is might be it may become hard and sometimes it will become brittle also. So if once it turns to a brittle property, that time if something load is applied on that, so without providing any crack, it will collapse down, right? So here we need to choose the materials, it should resist at the low temperature also. And then coming to the part durability, so here the mix, it should contain the sufficient asphalt cement, so that it should be ensure that an adequate film thickness around the aggregate particles. So here we need to choose a certain binding materials such that the bituminous materials or else whatever the binding materials we are going to use in the construction part. So it should be forming a certain bonding between those aggregate part, and it should not be separate with the bituminous materials as well as the aggregates whenever the load is going to be applied with a certain wear and tear properties, right? So that time it should retain its own binding property which is attached to that aggregate part. And here the compacted mix, it should not have very high air voids which accelerates the aging process. So in the durability part, whatever the compacted mix will be there, for example after laying the bituminous mixes on the top layer, that is on the surface layer, what it happens, it should not be having high air voids. So if anything which is varies with respect to amount of compaction, for example if the amount of compaction is very less, that time the voids will remains as it is within the mixture. So that time what it happens, that accelerates the aging process. So aging process, it's nothing but the continuous process, right? So which is a continuous process of natural change, right? So that begins whenever the change in the climate which will get appears on the road pavements, right? And coming to the next, that is resistance to moisture. So here even this resistance of moisture also, it may induce certain damages in the pavement layers, because that whatever the moisture content will be there, so might be it reacts with the binding material, and in some cases if the binding material, that is bituminous mix, which is not with a good property, that time when it reacts with the moisture content, it is going to lose its property and it causes certain damages to the pavement layers. And then workability. So here workability, the mix whatever we are going to use, that must be capable of being placed and compacted with a reasonable effort. So here it should be well workable in its condition, such that easily we can place that and easily we can compact and easily we can finish that top layers. So we should not put much efforts on those working principle, such that it should be with reasonable effort that work should be get completes. And then one more point, that is skid resistance. So here skid resistance in the sense, when the rough road, whenever we apply a sudden brake, that time the moving velocity of the vehicles will be faster than the tire velocity. So that time the skid may get occurs. So it should bear that skid also, such that if the sudden brakes and all applied with the vehicles, it should not be with the skid. So that whatever the layer is which is made on the surface layer by using the bituminous mixes, it should be skid resistance. And then the next property of the bituminous mix, that is low noise and good drainage properties. So if certain roads are constructed, so whenever that vehicles which uses that particular road, it makes certain noise, so it should be a certain low noise, and it should be having that low noise property as well as the good drainage properties. If for example sudden rain comes and all, so it should not retain with that water on that top of the layer. So with that certain pores, so easily that rainwater, it should get percolate and it should reaches to the drainage system, right? So like that, this bituminous mixes, it should not absorb the water content, but instead of that, it should be drained off by using the different layers with a drainage pipe. And then it should have the stability to meet the traffic demand, right? So based upon the traffic volume only, we are going to design the different layers. Suppose if in upcoming years might be the usage of that road will be larger in its extent, so that time it should bear that additional designed load weight also, right? So that time it should meet that particular traffic demand. In, for example, in some cases in the during at the signal areas and all, where we need to wait for a certain time, I mean 30 seconds, 60 seconds, like that. So during that place, the vehicle is going to be stopped in that particular place only up to that 30 seconds and all. So that constant weight, or else that whatever the stagnant weight is there, so that it should be carried out by the layers easily. Because of that permanent load up to 30 seconds to up to 1 minute, so it should not loses its property, right? And here that bitumen content to ensure a proper binding and waterproofing. So here we need to select the bitumen such that easily it should get mingle with the aggregate part, and even it should be with the waterproofing such that it should not absorb any water content within its body. And then voids to accommodate the compaction due to traffic. So here voids to accommodate the compaction. So here whatever the voids formation will get developed in between the bituminous material as well as the aggregate. So that one, it should be well compacted such that after it is open to a traffic condition, so that time based upon that loads governed by the different vehicles, so it should not changes its original place there. Because if we have done a less compaction in those particular layers, might be it will get compact in upcoming days by using the vehicular loads, right? So that time that deformations whatever it will get develops, it is going to be appear on the top layers. So again we can see the different undulations on top of that structure, I mean top of that pavement layers. So it should be bearing those all conditions, right? So that words it should be removed off easily such that it should be with a plane in its shape with a better compaction. And flexibility to meet traffic loads, especially in cold season. So it should be very helpful in all weather conditions, especially at the colder regions, because if the temperature will becomes less, so sometimes the road may get hard or else sometimes it will get brittle. So it should be bearing those all proper conditions such that it should meet a traffic loads, especially at the cold regions. And a sufficient workability for the construction, and even it should have economical mix. So we need to follow these all properties based upon the cost of that construction, I mean especially at the bituminous mix where we are going to use. So if we are using these all properties, by satisfying these all properties, it should be very economical. So if that cost of the construction is getting increased just by using this bituminous material, again it is going to be a failed project, right? So we need to choose a material such that even that cost also it should be in a considerable amount, I mean it should be less as compared to the other part of the pavement. And then moving to the next part, that is properties of cement concrete in pavement construction. So here till now we have studied about the bituminous mix, and now we are studying the properties of cement concrete in the pavement construction. So in that the first one, that is gradation, right? So first property of this cement concrete pavement is gradation. So here gradation is nothing but what? The size distribution of the aggregate particles what we are going to consider in the road construction, especially in the cement concrete construction. So cement concrete, in the sense, here the major part of the cement concrete is occurred by aggregate, and then binding material is used as the cementitious material, that is pozzolana cement or else ordinary Portland cement, like that, right? So here whatever we are going to use the aggregates here, so it should be with a proper in its sizes, right? And here the size distribution of the aggregate, what we are going to consider in the road construction of the cement concrete, so that particles which will affects the relative proportions and cementing materials as well as the water requirements, right? So we need to choose a well graded aggregates such that it should be with a better interlocking property, and it should be with a proper strength and other parts of these aggregates, and then it should be having a better workability condition and better pumpability, and it should be economy and porosity, shrinkage, and in adverse that durability condition. Here the size distribution of the aggregate particles, it should be a combination of sizes that results in a minimum of void spaces. So ultimately here we need to reduce the voids by selecting the good graded of the aggregates, right? So for that we need to choose best grade of the aggregates such that voids formations within that concrete, it should be less with compared to the other grade of the aggregate. And then the next part, that is the next property of the cement concrete, that is gradation, this absorption. So here the absorption and surface moisture conditions of the aggregate it must be determined so that the net water content of the concrete can be controlled. So here whatever we are going to use the water in the construction of the cement concrete, right? So first we are going to prepare the material, that is cement concrete, and for that we need to choose a different proportions as per the design, as per the mixed design of the concrete, and then we need to select a standard amount of water cement ratio such that it should be having proper workability, and even it should be having even a proper strength also, right? So here based upon this absorption property, how we can define, so if the absorption of the surface moisture condition of the aggregate, it must be determined. So first only we should find out that moisture content or else this absorption content of this aggregates, because so when we will use that one in the concrete mix, so whatever we have designed the water cement ratio, it should not become less by absorbing that water content by the aggregate, right? So first only we should select that how much water it is going to be absorbed by using these materials. So whatever those materials we have used in the construction, so how much water it is going to be absorbed, I mean how much percent, so that much percent we can increase by the water cement ratio, because if that designed water content, I mean ratio which is absorbed by the aggregates, so that time it is going to be affect for the workability part, because if the water content is less just by absorbing those water by the aggregates, so it will be with a less workable in condition. So again it is difficult to mix, again it is difficult to transport from one place to another place, and it is difficult to compaction, leveling, and even for finishing also, because it will become too hard, because most of the water it is absorbed by the aggregate, right? So here that absorption as well as the surface moisture contents we need to be determined at the before using that one in the construction. And then particle shape and surface texture. So here the third property, particle shape as well as the surface texture. So here the particle shape and surface texture of both coarse as well as the fine aggregates, which will be having significant influence on the properties of the plastic concrete, because here we need to choose the aggregates in a such that it should be with a better interlocking property, such that the whatever the voids formation will be there, that one it can be filled by the fine aggregate part, right? And so we need to choose the better particle shape of the aggregates, which we are going to be considered in the road construction of the cement by the cement concrete. And next one is that abrasion resistance. So here the abrasion resistance of an aggregate which is too often which is used as a general index of its quality. So just by checking this abrasion resistance we can check the quality aspects of that particular aggregate. So to find out this abrasion value, again we can conduct a different test there, that is one among that is Los Angeles abrasion test. So we are going to come we will come to know that total percentage of the abrasion value, right? So that one we are going to consider just with respect to quality aspects. And then the next point, that is durability. So here durability, which is the resistance to freezing and thawing property. So whenever it is necessary for the concrete aggregates, and which is related to aggregate porosity, absorption, permeability and pore structures. So it should be having certain durability aspects such that it should be having certain absorption property, so that the much water it should not retain, I mean the stagnant water it should not be withheld within this structure, so which is going to be effect for entire cement concrete layers there. So it should be having certain porosity property such that no water should be retained within that body of the cement concrete layers, and so that it should be very permeable, and by providing the pore structures, that water easily can be drained by using those pores. And then the next property, that is deleterious material. So here the aggregates it should be free from the potentially deleterious material. So deleterious materials are nothing but what, this clay lumps, and even we can say that shells and other friable particles. So these all materials what we are going to use, that is aggregates and all, it should be free from the foreign materials. So as per the Indian Standard Code books, how exactly the chemical composition of those materials have given, only that much it should be having, because if some other foreign materials get involved in that particular structure, so it may going to affect that entire layer of the pavement. Okay. And with respect to this deleterious material, and it should be friable particles, and in other materials that it could affect its chemical stability, and even with a weathering resistance, or even with a volumetric stability. So if some other foreign materials get involved within the structure, so it is going to be affect with respect to chemical stability, and weathering resistance, and even with volumetric stability. And next, that is particle strength. So here particle strength which is for a normal concrete pavements, the aggregate strength which is rarely tested, right, and it is usually much greater than, and therefore which is not as critical a parameter as the paste strength, or even paste aggregate bond. So here plastic strength, which is most important factor in high strength concrete mixtures. And here there should be proper grading and consolidation of the aggregates, such that we can avoid the total number of voids, I mean the percentage of voids, so that we can provide a strong concrete layer without any voids in that. And minimum water cement ratio should be adopted, such that the minimum water cement ratio it is going to give, sorry, here it is, so I think it's repeated. So minimum water cement ratio it should be adopted, such that, as we all know that might be the, if the water cement ratio is increased, you can achieve the better workability, right? So up to a certain limit you can achieve a maximum strength, right? So if you goes on adding the water to the workable, I mean the concrete, so might be it is much workable in its condition, but it is going to be affect that entire strength of the concrete, right? So here we need to choose the minimum water cement ratio, such that it should give the maximum strength whenever the load is going to be applied, right? And last one, that is it forms a hard surface which is capable of resisting abrasion. So even though in some conditions, if the sudden apply of the brakes and all, the tire which is going to be rub on that top surfaces. So if that conditions, I mean that situation comes into the picture, that time the top layer it should not get fade up, means it should retain its own thickness of the layer whenever it comes with the abrasion. So it should be resisting that abrasion property of the concrete also. Thank you.